3 main stories and 2 DLCs, we have a lot of lore jam-packed into a new, fresh series being Splatoon. And today, I wanted to kind of go back and reminisce the endings, including the final boss, to see which game had the best ending in the series. Once again, we have a total of 5 different endings and final bosses to talk about, so we'll be talking about the whole lead up to the end, the final boss, and just the whole lot of it. And of course, we will be ranking them from the worst to the absolute best in the series. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you love Splatoon and want to see more videos like this, including a really big one that I have coming up, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Splatoon and Nintendo in general. A lot of you watching this right now are not yet subscribed, so it'll only take a second. Thank you guys, and let's jump into the video. Another caution, yes, we're talking about final bosses, and that does include the regular part of the story for the side order DLC, so just keep that in mind. Now, I will say Splatoon 1 did not have many cutscenes at all. It was the first game of the series and the first time we went through a campaign or something like this, but the boss battle itself was so intriguing. It was definitely a boss battle that kept you on your toes and constantly had things to pay attention to. It was a very long one as well that put you through different Octarian enemies and different obstacles in order to cross, and you had to center your focus on his fist and also the giant bomb Z that he would shoot at you, which was quite insane. Like I said, the main downside was the fact that there wasn't any real cutscenes as a part of this boss battle. It was just a really, and I mean really, good boss battle. It lasted 3 to 4 times as long as Splatoon 2's version, and it was just all around a lot harder as well. That last area can be extremely difficult. And hearing DJ Octavio's music beats in the background and seeing the crazy cinematics of the giant metallic tentacles spinning around, yeah, there was a lot to be impressed by here. And then when Callie and Marie cut in to play the Calamari incantation for the first time and watch DJ Octavio bounce up and down and listen to that awesome tune while you're battling him in another section after playing for so long, it just kind of motivates you. It pumps you up. It's a really good addition to the boss battle. Once again, if this list was solely on boss battles, it would definitely be at the top, but the ending itself didn't add a lot since it was the first game in the franchise, so you didn't have any really cool cutscenes or story elements, so unfortunately, it couldn't be much higher than the rest. Coming in at number 4, we have Splatoon 3's Side Order DLC. Now, you have to get up 30 floors in order to find out what's going on in the Spire of Order, where you come face to face with this mysterious creature known as Order, which we learn to be a rogue AI that actually just completely went manic in trying to create this world of order, and you have to defeat him, where he turns into a giant octopus. And yeah, it's not super extreme of a boss battle. You just go around him taking out all the different spawners that are spawning the gelatin. Once you take those out, his shields will lower, allowing you to attack him. Now, there's no real lead up to this boss battle. It's 29 floors, and this is the 30th floor. There's a little bit of a cutscene in the beginning, but it doesn't do a whole lot. After you do this about 3 different phases, we'll get a scene of Order causing a mass grayscale upon everybody in the room and the world, but I guess music playing from Marina's laptop thanks to Oct allows you to awaken your vibe and kind of awaken because of the music, and yeah, it just wasn't that cool. I mean, it was okay. I mean, it's like, okay, music is part of their life, it's part of their vibes and stuff, but you get up and then you have to go around taking out, once again, more spawners in order to get these color chips in order to make an ultimate killer whale for Pearl, which she then uses, very similar to that of the Octo expansion, and she shoots like a rainbow of ink colors at Order, eventually defeating him. And it just feels like, once again, you're not doing a whole lot. It's just kind of Pearl's doing the work, and Marina and Oct are playing music in the background, and you're just kind of taking out spawners. Yeah, there was no extra ending or anything special at the end, and even when you play through this multiple times and do everything that you can in the game, there is no extra boss fight or ending that adds to it. So, unfortunately, I didn't think it did a whole lot. I love the credits, though. It was pretty cool to watch the elevator going all the way back up to the top, and it kind of reminisced the Octolings coming back from underground, like Agent 8 coming back from the, deep sea metro, so that was pretty cool. But overall, yeah, it was just Oh yeah, and of course there was a new Ebb and Flow remix during the battle called the Spectrum Obligado, which actually was a really catchy theme song, but the actual story and, the ending wasn't really matching it for me. For number 3, we go back in time once again to go to Splatoon 2's main campaign. And this is where Callie is actually brainwashed from DJ Octavio. And you're actually going up against both DJ Octavio and Callie. And DJ Octavio has another Octobot King, being the Octobot King 2, which is the main problem with this one, because it's ideally the exact same boss fight as the one from Splatoon 1, but in my opinion, in a lesser grand scale. Unlike the first game, the boss battle pits you in an arena where you are simply just knocking his fist back instead of chasing him down a long path and knocking his fist back. So you're just kind of standing around and waiting for him to shoot fist at you. And yes, Callie will also shoot different weapons and subs and even specials at you as you're trying to dodge them while hitting his fist back as well. Once again, it's not that difficult. It's a lot of waiting around, and it kind of takes away from the hype as you're just sitting there waiting. The final boss music is also a weird, creepy version of Bomb Rush Blush, which just sounds strange for a final boss. It's like a creepy clown music or something like that. Yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of this boss battle altogether. The only thing, in my opinion, that puts this slightly above order is that the boss battle does have 2 phases, and also the really cool scene of Marie flying in thanks to Sheldon in his truck and using a charger to blast Callie in the face and knock off the hypnotizing shades, which then she plays the new version of the Calamari incantation where they both sing and cheer on Agent 4, which does give you massive vibes of the first game and in a really good way. And phase 2 is actually really cool, where you take the Rainmaker, yes, the Rainmaker from the multiplayer mode, and you're on ink rails where you're grinding, switching back and forth on rails, dodging his fist, and blasting DJ Octavio with the Rainmaker until eventually you slam it into his face like the end of a Rainmaker match. This was actually a really neat and creative ending that I really did enjoy. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite as good as some of the others on this list. And now it's time for the runner-up at number 2 with Splatoon 3's main campaign. This time you're done with DJ Octavio, at least in the villain side of things. You're fighting a giant grizzly bear. Yeah, a grizzly bear that actually fell from a shuttle from space after multiple years of hibernation. His role is to kind of turn everybody into a mammal by spreading fuzzy ooze everywhere. And how do you fight him? Yeah, you fling yourself on a shark tornado into space. This game was crazy. The entire atmosphere of this boss battle was just through the roof. I mean, you're literally on a rocket ship in space fighting a grizzly bear. Yeah, it's pretty wild. This actual fight was a lot of fun, but of course we're here for the ending and the story itself. After getting flinged off into space, yep, you get saved by DJ Octavio in his new mech, and yeah, you kind of control him and the Inkling in a really cool duo type of situation. And for some reason, Deep Cut comes in to sing a new version, once again, of the Calamari incantation with Callie and Marie. And in order for the new Agent 3 to focus on battling giant Mr. Grizz with the help of DJ Octavio, you're gonna need some type of distraction, and that's where Small Fry actually turns into Huge Fry. Just watching the two of them battle as you're playing through the boss battle as well is so cool. It's just like giant kaiju fish versus giant kaiju bear, and it's just like, it's crazy. The stakes just feel like the biggest that we've seen in a very long time, where you're actually having to save the entire Earth, not just Inkopolis. Then after sucking up enough fuzzballs and ink, you're able to shoot a mega laser right into the chest of Mr. Grizz and knock him into the void of space, where he's still alive but just floating and drifting alone. I think this was a really cool ending with some really cool additions to the lore, and I thought they did a really good job by taking our Inkling into space for the first time in the series. I mean, it was like Splatoon Galaxy, and I loved it. And finally, coming in at my number 1 favorite ending from the Splatoon series is Splatoon 2's Octo expansion. This was one of my favorite storylines in the entire series, dealing with the Octolings and their struggle to come above ground, and also deal with Commander Tartar, a telephone made to pass on human knowledge, now with the desire to sanitize both the Octolings and Inklings and every other creature in Inkopolis and the Splatlands and turn them into mind-controlled slaves under his rule. The ending of this game was about making your way out of the deep sea metro and back above ground, and you had to go through 7 different levels in order to do so, and they all were super unique and a lot of fun to play through. The first level, you had to sneak through the sanitized Octarians while also not having any type of weapon, sub, or special to use, so Agent 8 has to creep around and find secret maneuvers to get by. Phase 2 is about finding a sub and a main weapon in order to use to continue going through this gauntlet. Phase 3 is about making it through the sanitization room, where all the Octarians and Octolings are being sanitized and placed in incubators. Phase 4 has you going in Mission Impossible mode by dodging ink lasers, which is super unique and a lot of fun. Splatoon 2 has you using the special weapon, the Inkjet, in order to fly around and take out little energy pillars that are all over this giant machine in order to make your way up. Phase 6 will have you moving an energy core all the way to the end of the stage, and Phase 7 is where you'll finally get onto the elevator to make your way out before you battle Agent 3. Yes, Agent 3 has been partly taken over by the sanitization process, and you'll actually have to battle him in order to save Captain Cuttlefish and make your way to the outside world, which is a really fun battle to play against your old hero. After this battle, you'll finally make your way above ground, and seeing your Octoling's face finally seeing the sunlight for the first time ever and seeing the city of Inkopolis was really special. It felt like a long journey that they finally made it through, and the Octoling can now be above ground, but it's not until you jump into yet again another giant battle. Commander Tartar comes out of the ocean inside of a giant statue called the NILS statue, which depicts the statue of David, and it has a giant cannon coming out of his mouth where it's going to fire a giant sanitized blast into the entire city of Inkopolis, sanitizing everybody with a single shot. It's an incredible scene with the giant statue and all the helicopters flying around from Pearl Marina and the giant sunrise in the background over the ocean. It's just a perfect set scene for a battle, and you devise a plan in order to land giant suction bombs all over the statue, and you have to go around popping them like one giant turf war before the timer runs out, which is such a unique concept for a boss battle. Of course, what made Splatoon in the first place, a giant turf war. And while doing this, you'll hear Fly Octo Fly playing in the background, which is a remix of Ebb and Flow, and I'm sorry, I'm saying it's even better than the Calamari Incantation. This song was amazing. All the different parts of it that kind of raised at the end, it all flowed perfectly to the actual gameplay, and it ended at a perfect way. This was just the ultimate ending to an amazing campaign. Also, seeing your Octoling fly off the statue backwards like a slow-mo cutscene of an action movie was just so good. I mean, the scene was choreographed perfectly and animated to perfection, not to mention the amazing scene of Pearl using the killer whale in order to completely obliterate Commander Tartar, the NILS statue, and his legion of sanitized Octarians. The fact that Nintendo added so much more lore and amazing cutscenes and just so much polish to a DLC just showed how much effort was truly put into this DLC expansion, and to me, not only is it still the best DLC expansion, but it's also one of the best campaigns, and for sure the best ending in the entire series. Seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, including Pearl Marina and even your own Agent 8 Octoling, it just felt right. You felt like Agent 8 truly made a difference and a change, and you can feel his excitement that he's finally entered the new world and off on a great start. I'll leave it up to you guys. What was your favorite ending in the entire Splatoon series? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Definitely let me know in the comments down below, and please make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.